How are you?
I thought I was having some technical difficulties, but maybe it was just me.
All right, you're good. You're good. I get
How are
myself
you today?
situated. I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad it's Thursday. One more day till Friday. How are you?
Friday Junior.
Yes. Hallelujah.
It's the holiday season, so I feel like with running a bank,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Going.
It's like Monday.
Going. Yeah, it's like going.
But I'm not complaining. I love it. I love what I do. Thank you for joining us. I know a lot of people are like, they shut off their calendars for the month of December. So thank you very, very much for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
Tonight's talk is about shopping smart but avoiding holiday debt. Now, I want you to, I always say I do no one justice of introducing them. So I like people to introduce themselves, but I do want to say the talk tonight, your name in itself is debt free.
Yes.
So we're talking about holiday season, shopping, but doing it and avoiding debt.
Mm-hmm.
So please, Ms. Brandyn, you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I am Brandyn Rodriguez out of San Antonio, Texas. I am debt-free 2020. I became debt-free last September. So after almost 6 years of student loan debt, credit cards, car payments, medical bills, you name it, we paid off, my husband and I, $137,000 worth of debt. So I'm glad that's behind us. We still have a mortgage, but we got rid of all the other debt. So it's been a really great year of not having any debt on that side of the house. So I just are out here on the streets of Instagram trying to encourage, empower, and motivate others to live that debt-free life, that you can pay it off and you can be there as well, no matter what that dollar amount may be.
First off, congrats.
Thank you.
That is huge. I'm curious, what made you kind of buckle down and say, you and your husband say, we're about to do this?
Interest. So two things. I always say it's two things. Interest rates and looking how much we were paying on student loans, mortgages, and then our kids. We have 2 daughters, and just wanting to be able to provide more for them, especially when they get older and decide to go to college and things like that. We didn't want them to have the same mistakes that we did. But during this journey, we decided to sell our old house and purchase a house all at the same time. So 2014, we got married. 2015, we had our youngest daughter. We sold our house, built a house all within 18 months. And then it was just like, dude, looking at the interest on the mortgage, I was like, we're going to pay a lot of money over the next 30 years, just in interest alone on our mortgage. And so it was like, okay, I think it's time to pay off debt. Yes, we can afford our minimum payments. Yes, cars were fine, but it was just like, why live like this? Why should we keep staying this way? And so we sat down and made out a plan and then just went full force for 59 months. When we got tired, we stopped. When we needed to take a break, we did. But our goal was to get rid of that debt. And obviously my username is debt-free 2020. So 2019 hit. I'm like, I have to finish it in 2020. So thankfully we did in September of 2020.
That's not a small, someone mentioned in the comments, that's not a small amount of money. That's huge. But I like, because it sounds like even though there was a huge amount of money, not only were you and your husband disciplined, but you also didn't make it where it was like you starved yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. It was one of the things, and I always talk about myself personally, we didn't sacrifice a lot like within our budget. We sacrificed in time to do extra side hustles and things like that. We still wanted to make sure that our kids could do things that they wanted to enjoy. Those that follow me, they know that my daughter plays club volleyball, and that's a very expensive sport. And it wasn't one of those things like, hey, well, Sid, you can't play club volleyball for the next couple of years because we want to focus on that, on debt. So we just had to compromise in certain areas. And if one month we knew we had 2 out of city volleyball tournaments, okay, this month we're not going to put $2,000 to debt because we got to pay $1,500 between travel and hotels and flights because of club volleyball. So we just had to work our plan, and some days and months were like, yay, we're going. And some months were like, dude, we survived. We made a debt payment, but we didn't make as many extra debt payments as we like. But we made it work. We just tried to stay focused and keep going. And our kids were involved. They knew what was happening. And thankfully, we were able to see the finish line.
I love that. I don't know why, but that stands out to me because a lot of times when people talk about paying off debt, they think like, I'm going to have to live miserable for like so long. So I love that. They was like, look, we didn't do this month. Okay, we're back on it next month.
Yes,
So
I still had pedicures and I still had hair appointments that I was going to, those things were going to stay in the budget. And maybe I might have extended it a little longer than normal, or maybe my husband would touch my feet in bed. It's like, dude, you need to go get a pedicure kind of deal. And it's like, okay, yes, I'll go. But they stayed in the budget.
So tonight we're talking about debt, more so trying to stay debt free around the holiday season. Yeah. So I believe the numbers that came out talked about how many people are still paying off debt this year from last year. Mm-hmm. I think it's something it's like a cycle. It continues. So first I want to get to like more of the fun side. What are some of your like fun things about like the holiday season and shopping?
So I'm not really a shopper. My husband is the shopper in our family. I will say for me in the holidays, I like decor. So I do shop when it comes to decor. I have a whole bunch of inflatables in my front yard. At home is a very dangerous location to go shopping if you're not prepared and if it's not in your budget. But if I see something on sale, like recently they had a big 10-foot snowman head and it was like on sale, like a really good sale. And I'm like, text my husband, I'm like, should I do it? And he was like, yes, you want it. I'm like, yay, go get it. So that's where I'm at when it comes to shopping, especially for the holidays. My husband, on the other hand, he's really big about deals and online shopping, and he's the one that handles like most of the Christmas presents for the family, put the list together, give it to dad. Dad's going to take care of it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Are you two more of, I'm shopping for the holiday. If I like it, I'm going to get it? Or are you more of, if it's not on sale, I don't buy it?
He's the sale one. So he'll focus on the sale. If it's something that I need or my girls need, if it's a need, then yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. If it's something that I want, then I'll think about it. And again, because I'm not a super shopping person, I'm always like, oh yeah, like yeah. And I'll go back and forth for like days or a week and figure it. And then it's like, just get it. Like, you want it, but it's like, do I really, do I need to? And it's like, okay, fine. Yes, I know I want it or I need it. So then I'll go get it. But I'm trying to change my ways. My husband's like, look, we could shop this way through these sales or these programs. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm also kind of content with some of the things that I have. So I'm like, I'm fine. Again, as long as my hair is done and my kids get what they need and I got a pedicure, I'm good.
So I think it's something that people go back and forth on. So I would love to hear your perspective of this, especially since you're more of like, let me think about it. I'm not really a shopper, whereas your husband is more like sale. Some people say if you're going to do Christmas and you're going to save money and you're going to have to avoid debt, do all your shopping by Black Friday. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
So this is also a very funny scenario. So I've never shopped Black Friday. Never, ever. It was never a thing for me. But I do, and my husband does. And I do believe that you can, and I know a lot of people that shop Black Friday and they're like completely done on that Friday. Like, hey, I got everything. The sales were great. I saved so much money. And if it works for you, go for it, whether it's Black Friday or even Cyber Monday. If those sales are something that, you've been looking forward to all year long and you wait for that, go for it. I also have, family and friends that will shop just throughout the year, right? So they're going to shop for Christmas starting in January and twice a month. If they see something that their child wants or a family member wants and it's a good deal, they'll purchase it just throughout the year. So it's not a big hit come Black Friday or December 12th and you're still out there shopping, or even December 23rd or 24th if you're still out there in the streets. I was one of those people years ago that I charged Christmas, and I was one of those people that would, pay for Christmas for years later on my credit card, go to Target, open up a new credit card, charge up everything. And then like, oh my goodness, like that Target credit card from Christmas of 2011 got paid off during our debt-free journey. It was one of the first things that got paid off, thank God. But thankfully we're past that journey of charging for Christmas. But I think there's just so many ways that you can do it, whether you choose to do Black Friday or if you want to shop throughout the year and hold it into a closet. And those are those presents that you can share for Christmas or, share for birthdays or whatever it may be.
Do you feel like the store cards, because you're spot on, do you feel like the store cards are like one of those like holiday traps that people fall into?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Open up card. You can save $200 or $100 by opening right now, or 20% off. And, no, I'm fine, thank you. Or and they keep going, I'm fine, please. And then it's like, I'm trying to pay off all my debt. Oh, I understand, but you just open it and you can pay it off right away. And I'm like, I don't even want to go through that process. Just take my money and let me go about my business. So yeah, I think they literally are targeting, us throughout the year, especially the holidays, whether it's through credit card programs, and then now buy now, pay later is like literally everywhere. I mean, I went to Panda Express today and it was like right there, like, oh, do I really have to have an option for PayPal buy now or Firm? Yeah, food. Yeah, food for lunch. To sit there and buy your lunch and pay it later. It's just like, wow. But yeah, they totally are targeting us to try to spend more money.
What are your suggestions on avoiding those holiday financial traps?
The number one rule I would say is a budget, right? So you start with your budget when it comes to identifying who's going to get what for Christmas, for the holidays, and even be like Santa, right? Check your list and check it twice, right? So when you're looking at that budget, all the expenses that you plan to for the holidays, whether it's decor, wrapping paper, gifts for family, gifts for coworkers, gifts for kids, secret Santas at school. Like, think about all the things that comes with your holidays, and put that within your budget and set that budget, and don't change it like, oh, I forgot about this person. Your family or a friend will understand if you do not give them a gift. It's more about the experience and being with family. But I understand, like, people want to go out and shower family and friends with gifts, but there's no reason for you to go into debt to do that. But yeah, I would definitely say start with a budget, stick to that budget as much as possible, to help provide that wonderful holiday experience for yourself or your family.
Yeah, I think if people just kind of go out and it's like, I have the list, but they don't really have a budget of like, I can't go over X amount of dollars or it's going to be really, really bad. So I agree with that. I think if you have a set budget and if I hit this,
that's it. Like, try to stay there. And that's what my family does. So, we have 2 girls, 10 years apart, 16 and 6. Like, okay, what do they want and what's the budget? It's like, okay, before we even say what do they want, okay, what's the budget? So we can know what we're working with, and then we can work backwards for that. And like this year, my husband and I were like, we're not going to get each other anything for Christmas. We're like, okay, we're going to take care of the girls. And it's because it's one of those things I was like, I just feel, he's like, well, what do you want? I don't know what I really want. I really don't know anything. And then it's like, I don't want you to give me something that I don't want, because then I'm gonna be like, really, really? And we've had that experience before. And then I feel like I'm just giving him golf stuff all the time. Like, oh, let me give you a golf gift card, or let me give you a golf thing to this golf course because you're just in love with golf and Nike. And so I was like, no gifts for us this year. We do want new living room furniture. And so that will probably be our gifts to each other.
Love that. With, so 2 girls, they tell you what they want. Are you the parent that says from the beginning, give us your Christmas list, but your budget is X, or you don't talk to them about the budget that you have set?
We do not talk to them with the budget that we have set, but we do set a budget between us, and we don't share it with the girls. And with the teenager now, she just wants money. So it's like, okay, we're just going to give you the money. Please don't blow it on food by eating your money away. And she's very big on James Avery charms for her bracelet. So it's like, okay, you get money and charms. Santa doesn't exist, so here you go. Merry Christmas. But then it's kind of like, well, she's not going to have anything underneath the Christmas tree if we just give her cash. And I was like, well, we're going to wrap like a whole bunch of boxes and put 20s and 50s in those boxes, and we'll make them heavy by putting books inside of it so she can have something to open on Christmas morning. But I was like, besides that, she knows, yeah, you just get cash now that she gets older because that's all she wants. So we're like, okay. But yeah, we keep the budget, the amount to ourselves.
So I remember growing up and you had like my grandmother who would keep like the Kentwood bottle, which is like a southern water company, or we would have like the parents, they would keep like their change or their dollars or like all year round, so they could spend that money for the Christmas holiday. And you spoke about how even in paying off your debt in general, you all more so sacrifice time. So you did more like side hustles and things like that. Do you have any suggested side hustles for the parents or adults in general who are looking to make additional cash around the holiday season?
Yeah, so I come from a service industry, like in college and things like that. So my side hustles were working in restaurants, and then obviously with the way the food industry is now, especially during the pandemic, from DoorDash to Uber Eats, all those is kind of what I did during my debt-free journey. I did DoorDash and Favor, which is a Texas-based delivery service. But I know one of the ones that are really hot right now is Amazon Flex, just because everyone is all over Amazon every day. I'm not an Amazon person either, but that's my husband. And I'm like, what is at the door now? But I've had friends that's, made great money from Amazon Flex, especially during the holidays last year. And I'm also a lazy side hustler. So I would like to know how much I'm going to make before I bust a move. So that's what I liked about DoorDash. I can pull it up and it's like, oh, it's $15. I have to just go here and the house is over there. Oh, I can do that. And that's with Amazon Flex. You can pull up the block to see how long your shift's going to be, how many houses you're going to, and you'll know, hey, I'm going to make $150 by delivering to 8 houses in this 2-hour block. So I think those kind of jobs, again, for those that are a lazy hustler like myself, those are great ways to get out there and make money. And then again, you can do at-home stuff. I haven't found any real at-home stuff for me that's been valuable, but any blogging, websites, social media content can really help people bring in additional income during the holidays as well. But if you're in the service industry, those tips are amazing during the holidays because everyone's a cheerful giver during that time frame.
The giving season.
Yes, exactly.
What there's some questions coming in. If anybody has questions, please drop them in the comments. We will get to them before we wrap. Christmas time is also, it's kind of like it's a mental thing, it's a mindset. And you mentioned earlier, people feel like I have to get all my friends, all my family, I have to get everybody something, which usually leads going into debt.
Yeah.
It seems more people now are starting to opt out of Christmas, although it ends up having kind of a psychological or mental impact on people. What would be your advice or your thoughts on people starting to opt out of holiday shopping to avoid debt?
For those that are, struggling with the holidays and, trying to figure out which way to go, I would, it's all about time and experiences with your family and friends. So if you choose to opt out of providing gifts for other people, just let them know, hey, I'm going through something right now, or, this year I'm not able to provide additional Christmas presents, but I welcome you to the house to spend time for dinner, or, let's get together and have a ugly Christmas sweater party, bring cookies kind of deal. You can definitely have several festive Christmas holiday opportunities without breaking the bank as well.
All right, let's start jumping to some questions. All right, Alex asked, as we move into the new year, have any tips to better prepare for Christmas 2022?
Prepare for Christmas 2022 by creating some kind of sinking fund. Again, looking at your budget. If next year you want to spend $1,200 for Christmas on your family, friends, whatever it may be, then you're going to start a sinking fund and you're putting $100 a month in there starting in January. If you want all of your Christmas budget completed by a certain time, just double that, whatever it may be. I want my Christmas budget saved up by July or June. Okay, I'm putting $200 a month. I'm breaking that down to $100 per paycheck if I'm getting paid on the 15th and the 30th, 31st of the month. So I think sinking funds are really, really great, whether you choose to do it by a cash envelope style, whether you choose to do it in a high yield savings account, whatever it may be. Those are ways that I would, start preparing next year for the holidays. I've always been one, especially the past couple of years, to just cash flow Christmas. So especially when we're on our debt-free journey, we would, we were hardcore debt. And then Thanksgiving would hit and it's like, okay, we're going to pay for Thanksgiving food. And then those next 2 checks right before Christmas went towards our Christmas presents, right? So we wouldn't pay any extra debt payments in December. And we would just use that money to cash flow our Christmas. Very, very helpful. Thankful that this year is our second debt-free Christmas. So that's really, really cool. To be able to be done with all of our Christmas shopping and not have to, cash flow anything. We were able to take care of it all before December 25th. No problem. You're welcome, Alex.
What are your thoughts on, to piggyback off of Alex's question, what are your thoughts on people who use like the credit card system. So some people who they get like their points or they get their cash back and they save it. Because people have like kind of, sometimes credit cards get a bad rep unless you use them the proper way. So I'm curious, someone who is debt free, what are your thoughts on the whole like cash back, saving that up for holidays?
Yeah, it's definitely a personal decision for everyone. Yes, credit cards, they can be good and bad, right? If you're not using them responsibly, then it's a very bad trap. Yes, you can use them to get reward points for travel and getting that cash back to use towards whatever you may want to use it to. But I think, you just have to be very careful. For someone like myself, I was very irresponsible with credit cards all my life. I got my first credit card at 18, which was JCPenney, as I'm walking through the mall, trying to get to my job at Finish Line. And, hey, you want a credit card? No, thank you. You want a credit card? You get a free hat. Oh, okay. So here I am at 18 years old, signing my life away to JCPenney to get a free hat. And that's what started my horrible journey with credit cards from 18 until about 2 years ago when I was able to finally pay off my last credit card. But again, if you choose to use credit cards, use them responsibly. And yeah, I think there's many benefits when it comes to using credit cards. You just have to make sure that you're using it responsibly.
We talked about the holiday debt, but once again, for those who are joining later, $137,000 in debt. Even if this is outside of the holiday season, if you had to drop 3 tips on the journey to becoming debt-free, what would they be?
3 tips to becoming debt-free. Make a plan, select a plan, whether that's the debt snowball plan, debt avalanche, whatever is going to keep you encouraged to go and pay your debt. Get on a realistic budget. You can't identify or you can't pay off debt without seeing how much income is coming in and how much income is going out. You really need to lock that in so hey, at the end of the month, after I'm paid, I actually have $700 available. And if I'm not using that to eat out every other day, I can put that towards debt. And once you get going, we chose the debt snowball method. I like that one just because the momentum of it going and going and going. So those first 4 years was like, yay. And then of course we get to that last year when you're trying to pay off $20,000 in student loan debt. And it's like, oh, it's taking forever. But definitely choose the method, the plan that works best for you. Get on that budget. And then take breaks when needed. Again, we hustled hard our first year. We got 2 part-time jobs, our full-time jobs, 2 daughters, and we said we're going to try it for 3 months. And then at 3 months, it's like, okay, we got this. Again, thankfully our kids are 10 years apart. So our oldest daughter could help out a lot. And after that 3 months, it's like, okay, let's just go for a full year and see how far we can get. And so we made it that full year and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, we're going to quit this second job and just focus on everything else. And then we did that for 3 years. And then finally year 4 came around. I'm like, okay, let's hustle again. But we took those breaks. Like, okay, we can't hustle. We could not. I know we could not, as parents, as who we are, hustle like 2 part-time jobs for 5 years straight. And again, even during that journey, when we weren't hustling and we were just tired, like there was times my husband's like, I don't want to make an extra $500 payment this pay period. And it's like, okay, so one of the things for us, we really worked on compromise. Like we had to do that because if one person's headstrong on one way and the other person's not, like the journey just wouldn't work well. So we compromised a lot during our journey and it's like, okay, we're not going to make an extra payment this pay period. We'll just relax. If we want to go out to an extra dinner or a fancy dinner or take the girls somewhere to Fiesta, Texas, we'll do that. And then we'll just hop back on. So definitely rest and recharge when it becomes too much for you. But no matter what, don't quit. It can be done. I did $137,000. I have friends on Instagram that just paid off $460,000, like $460,000. I'm like, that's a lot of money. And they just did it. And they worked together as a team and they hustled and they grind and they went all the way through and paid it off. And don't matter about your timeline. Don't think that I have to pay off this much money in 12 months or 2 years or whatever it may be. Your timeline is your timeline. Your debt is your debt. Just keep going and don't give up.
Great tips. Thank you for that. For those who, you mentioned you paid off your debt, you went to Instagram, you share your story, you give out tips. For those who will be maybe watching this even on replay, how can they work with you? How do you work with people? How do they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm at debt_free_2020. You can also contact me through my blog, which is www.positivelybee.com. All of that's connected to my Instagram account. So feel free to send me a message, a direct message, email me, whatever it may be. And I'm just here to help you get on a realistic budget and help you get that debt-free plan in motion, because I believe that we all can become debt-free no matter what that dollar amount is, and no matter your timeline, you can do it.
Before we let you go, you have to leave us with a financial hack. What is a financial hack you can leave us with?
This one was hard when I saw this in the email, and I was like, oh, what's a financial hack I want to share? I'm big on budgeting, right? And I'm going to share a reel here when we get done. And it's about a friend, and she knows it's about her, but I'm like, I'm not being mean, friend, but friend, I'm real big about budgeting. Budgeting will change your life. Like, if you're scared of budgeting, like, oh, I don't know how to do it, I can't do it. Your budget can be as simple as like super simple, or it can be super complicated. But getting on a realistic budget will set your financial future up. And so I'm all about budgeting. Those that use credit cards, like if you're going to use credit cards, or if you have any kind of loan or any kind of debt payment, pay more. Obviously, pay more than the minimum payment each month so you can get rid of that debt. But my big focus and my number one thing is, get on a realistic budget and live on that realistic budget. And if you see something that's not working, revisit that budget often. Don't think you just do a budget one time for the month and you're done with it. You need to go back and look at it, track those expenses. And the budgeting makes a whole world of difference. When I started budgeting myself a couple of years ago, a realistic one, it's like, dude, look at all this money I have after like, where was this money before? Oh, because I was going to McDonald's and Texas Roadhouse and, spending it elsewhere. But now I have this money that I can pay off debt, or now I can have this extra money to invest for my future. So budgeting is key to having a bright financial future.
So one quick follow-up to that. Do you suggest that like budgeting through the apps, or are you more like pen pad type of budgeting?
When I first started my budgeting journey, I was notebook, like home. I had pens and a whole bunch of pages in my notebook, and I like a fresh page. So I would always, if I messed up, I have to start a fresh budget. During the pandemic, I switched over to a spreadsheet. My husband is in accounting, and he was like, "Girl, we're moving to a spreadsheet." So now we have a spreadsheet template that's on our blog that you can get as well for free. But do whatever budget works best for you. If you like pen and paper, do it. If you like a spreadsheet, do it. If you want to focus on an app, do it. There's great apps out there, from every dollar to you need a budget. I'm always big about whatever your personal finance is and whatever works best for you and you're successful in it, follow that lead. So I'm not I'm not an app person. So right now I'm still just sticking with my spreadsheet. I tried the app, but this wasn't working for me. So I'm good with spreadsheets.
Got it. Miss Brandyn, thank you so, so much. You took the holiday season, dropped some gems. You gave us tips on avoiding debt this holiday season, and I hope every holiday season after that.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to leave us with?
Just thank you for the opportunity to join you tonight. And again, just, stay on that budget, focus on your financial future, and do not go into debt for Christmas. It is not worth it.
Happy holidays. Until next time.
Happy holidays. Take care. Bye.